Here's how to get instant respect from the people you would love to be working with. There is a system inside your brain that measures status. It's called the medial prefrontal cortex. And at all times, it's figuring out who is higher status than you, who is the same status as you, and who is lower status than you. Now, you are not the only person who has this system. We all have this system. It's hardwired. You cannot delete it. You cannot get rid of it. It's one of the most ancient inbuilt systems in the human brain. At all times, we're figuring out how the status hierarchies around us are working. Now, the implication for this in business is that when you meet people, they automatically receive a signal that says, oh, this person's a really high status key person of influence. I should pay attention to what they have to say. Or you get a signal that says, this person's a lot like me. We should be friends. We should stay connected, but they're not someone I need to pay a lot of attention to. Or this person is lower status than me. I can pretty much ignore most of what they say and I don't have to throw a lot of money at them to get them to do stuff. This person needs to do me favors, not the other way around. Now, in the modern society, you'll see this with musicians. If you tell someone that you're a musician, they will say, oh, I have a party that's coming up. Would you like to play at my party for free, right? And that is incredibly annoying for all musicians because essentially that person is saying, you're a low status musician. I'm gonna give you some free work for you to be able to do. I'm not gonna pay you, but you need the experience so you can come and perform at my party for free. Or perhaps you might say to them, look, I'm a professional musician. And they go, oh, fantastic. I know someone who needs a professional musician because they're doing a studio album and they expect that you're a working musician. Now imagine instead if you said, actually, I'm part of the band Coldplay. I'm a megastar musician. And they go, oh my goodness, I had no idea. I put you on a massive pedestal. You must be earning millions and millions of dollars, right? I can't believe how lucky I am to meet a member of the band Coldplay. So what you're seeing there is that people respond differently to a musician depending on how much status they think that musician has. Now, the first time people evaluate your status is when you introduce yourself, and we call this a social pitch. A social pitch is where you say, hi, my name's Daniel Priestley. Here's what I do. Here's what I'm about. You give people a little bit of a 30-second overview of who you are. We do this all the time now because of social media. We have our social media profiles that have our biographies. We also have videos and podcasts where we're introducing ourselves. And also social media leads to offline experiences where we're in new rooms and we're introducing ourselves to new people. And this is why you absolutely must put some thought into your social pitch. You've got to be prepared with a social pitch that is ready to communicate that you're high status. So let's explain exactly how to do that using two frameworks. So the first framework I want to share with you is the bell curve versus the power law. The bell curve is a curve of distribution of results that is evenly distributed. It means that everyone gets average. It's the bell curve for normal results. And for most people, that's where they expect you to be. They expect you to be on that bell curve, that you're a normal person who's got normal results. The other distribution curve is called a power law. That's where all the results go to the people in the top 10%. Now, when you introduce yourself and describe what you do in a very general sense, people plot you on the bell curve and they assume that you're an average normal person. However, when you can define that you do something special for a certain type of person and you've got unique intellectual property, people immediately assume that you're in the top 10% of that and that they plot you on the power law, which means they believe you're a key person of influence at what you do. So the very first thing you need to do is choose what is the game that you are going to be able to play and win based on your background. Now, I'll give you an example of this. If you were to introduce yourself as a financial planner, immediately someone would plot you on the bell curve and they would say, I bet you're just a normal person and a normal financial planner. You're probably not a newbie. You're probably not a key person of influence. You're just a worker bee financial planner. However, if you introduced yourself and said, I'm a financial planner and I only work with dentists that have more than 20 employees, people would assume that you must have done lots of this, that you must be very good at this, that you must have figured out all the different things that apply to dentists, and they assume that you are a key person of influence who's at the top of your game. So by defining a new game, by defining what it is that you do in very specific terms, you move from the bell curve to the power law. Framework number 2, once you've defined the game that you want to win, once you've actually put some rules around that, it's based on your intellectual property, your background, your story, right? It's based around your ideal customer persona. Once you've defined that, you now want to signal to the marketplace, you want to signal to people that that's who you are and that's how you play. And the way that you do that is through what we call a social pitch, which is a hook pitch. So in the hook pitch, you're going to cover a few key things. We're going to call this name, same, fame, aim, game, right? So your name is your name and your business name. Same is something that everybody understands. Fame is what makes you special or different. Aim is what you're hoping to achieve in the next 90 days or what you're currently working on. And big game is like your bigger vision or what you're doing in the next few years. Now let's string it all together and I'll give you my example. So I'm Daniel Priestley. I'm the founder of Dent Global. We are a business accelerator for entrepreneurs. Over the last 15 years, I've written 6 books and worked with 5,500 businesses, and I've won major awards for the business growth strategies that we implement. At the moment, I'm working on a new book called The Lifestyle Business Playbook, and our big game is to develop entrepreneurs who stand out, scale up, and make a positive impact in the world. Now, all of that was about 30 seconds, and I did it off the cuff because I've rehearsed it in the past. It was very quick and very easy because in my mind, I'm just going name, same, fame, aim, and a game. By having that framework at my disposal, I can do it on a podcast, I can do it on a video, I can do it on social media, I can write it down, or I can communicate it through media. The reason that I do it that way is it elevates my authority in the best possible way. It communicates who I am and what I'm about. People can then either engage with that or not engage with that, and either is fine. And it allows me to feel confident and prepared in a situation where I have to introduce myself. So 2 things I want you to do. Number 1, define the game that you want to play on a power law, not a bell curve. What is it that you want to do that you can be in the top 10% of based on your story and your experience? Come up with your idea around your ideal customer persona and your intellectual property that puts you at the top 10% of that game. And number 2, use the social pitch framework, name, same, fame, aim, and a game, to craft your 30-second pitch. Practice it in the mirror, practice it to your video on your phone, watch it back, see if you can improve it. And next time you introduce yourself, you'll be introducing yourself as a key person of influence within an important high status area. Now, if you're brave enough, I would love for you to put your pitch into the comments below so that we can actually see and experience a few of these in real time. So put your hook pitch or your social pitch in the comments. Okay, give this video a like, give it a subscribe. I look forward to seeing you soon. All the best.